We're back. Actually, we're not back. We're missing somebody very important to us, and it's Dancing Grammy. But as she always says, the show must go on. So here I am to give you an update and also to give you our word of the week for our Porchcast this week. So first, an update. So Mama, our beloved dancing grandma, is doing very well. She's at home. She's getting physical therapy. In fact, I think she is getting her hair washed as we speak. She's very happy about that, to be able to get baths. So she's doing very well. She's up and walking with her walker, taking a few steps even without it. So we are so grateful for her recovery, but she needs to rest. And that is our word of the week. We actually talked this morning about rest and how she needs to have more rest and how we all need more rest. And my mom, if you know anything about her, she is always on the go. She's always encouraging, she's tap dancing, she's on her treadmill, but now she needs to rest. She needs physical rest in order to heal. And we also do. And often our rest is not only physical. So for me, when I think of rest, I think of getting in my cozies as I am now in my robe and resting on the couch, maybe with a Hallmark movie in the background. And that just feels so wonderful and comforting. And you all have been so comforting to my mom through letters and calls and beautiful flowers and messages. And she just wanted to say thank you. And she even got a cozy blanket from Beth, our dear friend, that she just loved. And she just felt so loved during this time of rest for her. So she wanted me to tell you thank you from the bottom of her heart. She will be on email. She's already back on the Facebook, so you may be hearing from her soon. But she does need to take time each day to rest so she can recharge and gain her strength again. So let's talk about this word. I keep mentioning this word rest, and I'm really grateful because I am able to take a rest now, and I think that's really important for caregivers. And I'm really grateful for family members and friends who have stepped up and stepped in so that I could actually come back to Florida and just get regrouped, because I don't know if you have seen all the posts or not, but it was a little crazy. So it was actually 4 weeks ago today that Mom took a fall. She got blown over by really heavy winds. And the next morning I got on a plane to come back, and it was just kind of crazy. So I was there for 10 straight days caring for Mom, and it was really wonderful, but it was exhausting. And anyone who's been a caregiver knows. So I was so grateful when family members, when my sisters came in. I have a sister-in-law, Beth, there now, so that I could get a little break and come back to Florida and kind of regroup. And then I'll be headed back soon. But this idea of rest has been really important for me. And not only the idea of physical rest, but also emotional rest. Because I realized through this situation with my mom, who I love dearly, that it's very stressful and it's worrisome. When you get the phone call that, she's had a fall, she has a break in her pelvis in 2 places and internal bleeding, all of a sudden it just raises up, and I wasn't physically there. So it was very, upsetting and very worrisome. So I was really grateful to have people on the ground who could be there and take care of her. But something that I've learned in this time and in the last month for me is, I kind of lost my balance with just taking care of Mom. I wasn't even keeping up on my emails and just like day-to-day stuff. I was kind of all in, all focused on, go in the hospital in the morning, then Ed would go in the afternoon, then I would go back. And so it gets to be really overwhelming. And so I'm just speaking now to anyone who's been a caregiver that it's really important to make space for yourself so that you can be strong and care for your loved ones. And I always get the reminder on an airplane when they say, put your mask on first. Put your mask on first, because you can't help anyone if you're blue and on the floor, right? So that's been a really important lesson for me. And also this idea of not only this physical rest and balance, and I always think of the story, of course, right in Genesis, that on the 7th day God rested So even God said, let's take a Sabbath, let's take a rest. And so this idea is really important. And I am like my mom, kind of always on the go. So this is a little more challenging. But sometimes God just stops me. And usually it happens when I get sick. So I'd kind of worn myself out, and then I came back here. So I just needed time to regroup and rest. But another important thing I learned about rest is emotional rest and spiritual rest. I think one of the things that was happening is I lost my routine with my daily devotions, so I was more unsettled. I was not in the Word. I was not teaching. So a lot of those things that were really important in keeping me centered and at peace kind of went out the door when Mom had this accident. So just kind of reclaiming that and recognizing it. And I also learned that it's really important when you want to have true rest. There is what I call a surrender. And we've heard this word before, in surrendering things to God, and sometimes we have to surrender them to other people. And this was a perfect example with my mom, because I'm so used to taking care of Mom and watching over her. And so for me to surrender even that care and that control was really hard. And it involves a lot of trust in the Lord and in people around you, in healthcare professionals and family members. And so it's really important, I think, and a good lesson for me to find true rest is to be able to surrender and to be able to say, I can't do it all. I need some help. And so that's been really wonderful. And this is the benefit of having a wonderful community of friends and a big family who comes in and kind of pitches in and helps out. So it's been really great. So I want to thank everyone too who has come in, my sisters, my brother, my sister-in-law who's there now, all of my dear friends in Indianapolis like Mark and Candace have been wonderful. Dr. Joan, I have a list a mile long. Elaine, of course. So Julie, thank you all for being there and for being there for Mom and also for me. And so I think it's a good reminder that we all need times of rest. We need to find that balance. And when a crisis occurs and when something happens, to lean in and to not be afraid to ask for help so that you can be there for others. Because again, we can't be strong for others unless we're first healthy and we have had that time for a break and some rest too. So I think that's it for today. And next week, I bet Dancing Grammy's going to be back with us. So until then, she says, thank you. I say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We will be back, and you will be hearing from her soon. She's going to be working on her book and finishing that up. She wrote a new chapter in the hospital, so it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for you to read it. So until next week, so long, and I hope that you find time to rest this week. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.